Guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another episode of Millennial Wealth. I am your host, Miguel, and we are here to talk about wealth, finances, changing your life, changing your kids, changing everything in your life, guys. And today I'm here to share with you the biggest financial mistake that I've made in my life. To this age, right? I'm in my mid-30s. I look back and I still cringe at this, guys, and it's not secret, right? I'm not trying to clickbait anyone here. I'm gonna break it to you. It is cars, guys. Buying new cars, it's the worst thing I have done in my financial life as an adult. I went to school for engineering, right? And I got my first job right around when I was 21 years old, guys. I was doing co-ops and internships, right? It wasn't even a full-time job. First thing I did, you know what it was? I bought a brand new BMW. 21 years old. Not even have a real job, right? I just have like a summer job with these people. What do you do? Yeah, sure. Why not? I'll buy a $40,000 BMW. What's the worst that can happen? You know what happens 2 years afterwards? I trade in the BMW and I bought like a massive SUV. You know what happened 2 years afterwards? I traded in the SUV and I got a massive like sports car. You know what happened 2 years afterwards? I trade that one in and I bought another sports car. And I have never regretted anything as much as I've regretted that in my life, guys. And it's been hard. It's been really hard on me now that we have changed our lives successfully, my wife and I look back at those mistakes and they're really hard. And there's no one to blame, right? For some time I used to blame my parents because they didn't teach me about money, right? But they're from a different generation in which you would work a few years and you would get pension, right? My dad was one that would always tell me, oh, you never want to pay off a car, because if you pay off a car and you get into a car accident, then you lose the money. And it's hard on me, guys. Why? Because that has cost me hundreds of thousands of dollars in my life. Why? Because I would get the cars to a way in which I would break even if I trade them in, and then I would trade them in and buy a new one. By the way, guys, leasing a car is the most expensive way of owning a car. There is not a more expensive way than lease, because lease is just a loan. It just change the name and you think, oh yeah, I'm not buying the car, I'm just leasing it, which you're just renting it. But what I did is probably the second stupidest way of owning a car, and I regret it so much, and it has brought pain in my life as an adult because I could have done so much with that money today. And I don't have it, guys. According to this study out of CNBC, guys, the average price per card in the United States in 2019 rose from $35,742 to $36,718, guys. $36,000 is the price of the average card in the United States. The average brand new car. You know what's the household income, the average of the whole United States? $62,000. Less than $62,000, that'd be it. What does that mean? That most people in the United States are buying cars they cannot afford. What was the number one car sold in the United States in 2019? The Ford pickup trucks, right? You know how much a Ford pickup truck costs? I know because I went to see one back in the day, right? They go anywhere from $28,000 up to $90,000, guys, depending on the one model you get. You get a 35, 2500, maybe you get a 4500. Why not? You want to throw the platinum package on it? There's even a Shelby one that cuts over $100,000, but that's like a super aftermarket stuff. I don't have any of that. How many Camrys do you see on the street? Because Camry was like the sedan that sold the most, guys. Those sell from $24,000 to $35,000. And the most sold like mid-size SUV was the RAV4. And those cost from $25,000 to $35,000. Oh my goodness, guys. So what does that mean? That means that the average loan of a car in the United States was $36,000, guys. Add the sales tax, add to that an interest rate of about 4%, and then people finance these things for 6 years. Oh, and you hear this all the time, by the way. All of your broke friends, the interest rate is so low that it doesn't even matter. Oh, why would you finance a car for 2 years? Why would you pay cash for a car? I can make so much more money if I invest that money. Tell someone, dude, pay off your card. Why would I pay it off? That's like 4% interest rate. I get like 12% with my investments. Guys, I've heard it. I've heard it because I think I probably said that a few times in my life. Guys, and what does that mean? And listen, I understand past performance does not indicate future performance. I like how I raised there when I was saying that. However, it's the best thing we have. And it's a thing that we can kind of use as an example of plotting on this graph, guys. If you right now, you watching, let's say you are 18 years old, right? You're going to retire by the age of 67 years. By law, that's when you start getting Social Security. We're not going to get any, but whatever. You're going to retire in the year 2069, and I did not plan that, guys. If you take $600 a month for the next 6 years and you were to invest them in something like the S&P 500, historically speaking, right, the S&P 500 returns about 8% a year, guys, right? That means that if right now you just go and you put that $600 by January 2026, right, a full 6 years, the car should be completely paid off. But instead of paying that car, you put that money on the side, invested it, you are going to have anywhere from $54,000 to $58,000. How's that $36,000 car sounding now, huh? You could have had about $56,000. You know how many cars you can buy cash with that? Yeah, a few. Yeah, let me tell you, a few of them, guys. But let's take it even further, right? And I'm using here 7 to 9% just to give you guys an idea. And some people think the market is gonna crash and we're all gonna die. If that happens, who cares, right? If the whole economy of the United States crashes and we're not here, then we got problems more severe to handle than this car thing, so who cares? Let's say, right, you wake up on December 2040 without adding any more money. After those 6 years, you stop contributing. You just put $600 at the 6-year marks, you stop. You don't touch it and you let it there compounding on interest. And if you guys don't believe me, open a compound calculator, guys. Nothing has changed my life as the first time I open a compound calculator. I have never felt more disgust of all the money I spent when I was in my 20s as when I open a compound calculator. I felt nauseous I don't even want to talk about it. Anyway, guys, let's say you wake up December 2040, right? You put those 6 years of $600 on the side. You're going to wake up this morning, and let's say the stock market performed at 7%, your investment did 7%. You have now a nice and comfortable $173,000. Let's say the market keep up with history, right? With the 8% historical, you have $207,000. The market did a little bit better, right? Maybe whatever. The Tesla got added into the S&P 500. They deliver everything they promised, and now your return was 9% over 20 years, guys. You are sitting in $247,000. How's that $36,000 Camry sounds now, huh? That pickup truck, how does it sound now? Let's say, right, you don't touch that money. You just leave it in your retirement account. You don't look at it. You don't do anything with it. Retirements arrive, guys. It's the year 2069, guys, December. And now, let's say the stock market did horrible. It only returned 7% in the lifetime, which is underperforming what it has done since inception of the S&P 500. Well, you have a cool $1.3 million. Stock market kept up with history, you have a cool 2.1 million. It outperformed the last 100 years of the S&P. Now you have a cool $3.3 million, guys. I wasted hundreds of thousands of dollars in cars in my first 10 years of my life. Not like from 0 to 10, when I started working and whatnot. And I'm just utterly disgusted by it. But nothing I can do about that. I cannot sit here and cry. The only thing I can do is teach my son about this. Teach people watching about this. Let you all know, I did this. I was stupid. You don't have to do this. Why do you think if you go watch TV right now, you're going to get 10 ads about like luxury cars and just any car in general, right? By the way, go down in the comments, put luxury car brands so they would start getting their ad revenue in this video. But why do you think car companies spend so much in advertisement, guys? Because it's a massive business, guys. They make so much money. And listen, I know, I get it. You guys have to drive, right? But you can buy used cars. You can buy cars with cash. And that's fine. You cannot make 40, 50, 60, $70,000 a year and be driving around a $40,000 car, guys, a brand new car. You cannot have your half of your income going down. Those first 1, 2, 3 years you own a brand new car, guys, the car is just depreciating so much. And you can't afford that, guys, unless you're a multimillionaire. If you're a multimillionaire, I could not care less if you buy a new car every week. Like, who cares, right? If you're not, you should care a lot about this, because in the long term, you are wasting your kids' money, your family's money, money that you could use to do so much good in the world, right? Money that you can use to raise you, your family, and everyone around you. And it's going into nothing, guys. So the only thing I have right now is teaching this to my son, teaching this to this, and elevating my son, right, higher than where I am. Which is why we changed our life. They got a really sickening point in our life in which my wife and I looked at each other and we were like, we make so much money and we're broke. We make all of this money and we have nothing to show for. Yeah, we have cars, right? And back then, when we got married, when we lived together, we had 2 cars that we were doing payments on. And that's normal. That's what you do. You buy a house, you buy cars, and you're always gonna have a car payment. I didn't know any better, guys. And I don't want to blame anyone for this. This was my fault. But we changed, right? We start buying cars cash. We start buying used cars. And I'm not telling you guys, go and buy a 50-year-old car. I'm telling you about if you get a car that it's like 3-4 years old with 40,000 miles on it, odds are you're going to be fine, right? That's what we did. We would always get cars that were like 3 to 4 years old and they had like 40,000 miles. Most of them still had warranty with the manufacturer when we bought them. We paid them cash. So the more money I make in my life, the less money I started spending into cars. Because that's when you realize, I don't need this. All I want is money for later. All I want is be set in life later, right? Set my son up for success. And that's the only thing that matters for me right now, right? And again, guys, I'm frustrated. I've lost sleep over this, and at this point, there's nothing I can do but just try to tell you all my story, and hopefully some of you can deal with it. After we realized that, we had 2 cars that we were paying on them, and they were very, very nice cars, and we got rid of them. We took them to CarMax, whatever. We sold them. We got that money that we got back, and we just purchased 2 used cars. And after that, we bought one. We sold one and bought another one after we had my son, and it's just the way it is. Now I live in downtown Boston, so I don't even own a car. So I guess that's, a cherry on top of that. But I get it. We need cars. You need cars, guys. But don't go broke getting something you don't need. And I'm going to tell you something, and this may come off as a little choppy, right? But I wish someone would have told me this 10 years ago. You, me, don't deserve anything, guys. You watching this, you don't deserve anything, right? This idea that TV puts on you that you work hard, reward yourself, you deserve this. And because I had that mentality, right? Oh, I work hard, I went to school, I did all of this, I've done everything right in my life. I deserve a new car. Let me tell you something, you don't. I didn't. I don't. To this day, I don't deserve anything. And back then, that was my mentality. Oh, I want to go on a trip. I deserve it. I work hard. New car? I deserve a brand new car. Ha ha. And I remember, I even bought a brand new car after watching a Super Bowl because I was like, that car looks cool. And I went and bought it like a week afterwards. And oh, what an idiot, guys. And I tell you what, when I buy my next car, it's going to be 100% cash, right? It's going to be 100% cash, and odds are it's going to be used because that's just, it makes no sense, guys. It's a tool. It's there to help me. It's not there to be anything else. But anyway, guys, I don't want to talk anymore because if I keep talking about this, I'm legitimately going to cry out of millions of dollars that I've lost for when I'm retired. Millions of dollars that I could have left to my kid, right? That it's gone. And I get it, guys. And never mind. Anyway, guys, as always, make sure you guys check. I'm gonna put some links in the description with all this information in case you guys want to read. And by the way, you always have to, don't believe me because I'm about to cry about cars, guys. Do your own research every single time. Find out what suits you, what suits your family, but make better decisions that I did. So this is me pouring my heart out here, giving you my story, and hopefully you guys can learn something from it. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up for this episode right now. And your comments are always appreciated down in the comments, and I'll catch you all later, guys. Bye.